Hello, good morning. Patnaik sir, shall we start? We already have 73, 74 participants.
We can start. We can start. Better to
Sure.
start on time. It is always better. Stick
Yes,
to
sir.
time.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, a very good morning to all the participants. Welcome to the fifth day of our online certificate program on advanced research methodology and data analysis. Again, I would like to request all the participants to mute their audios and videos, please. I'm requesting all the participants to mute their audios and videos. Today, the topic is multivariate regression analysis. And today, we are fortunate enough that we have with us Dr. Saroj Kumar Sahu, Assistant Professor of Department of Business Administration, Sambhalpur University, Odisha. Dr. Sahu, PhD, MBA, UGC NET, has more than 25 publications in reputed indexed national and international journals. He has presented more than 20 research papers in national and international seminars and conferences. He is carried out more than 5 research projects sponsored by Indian Council of Social Science Research, New Delhi. He has more than 15 years of teaching experiences. On behalf of ASBM University, I welcome you, sir. Now, I would like to request, sir, to start the session. Sir, please, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
The PPT is visualized to all?
No, sir, you presentation.
Yeah, visible.
Yes, sir, visible.
Yes, sir.
Visible.
Visible?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Everything is okay now?
Good
Yes,
morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
I again request all of you to mute your audio and visual. It's a fine morning to enter to this particular session, that is multivariate regression analysis. Now, I am fortunate enough that ASBM University has given such chance to me to share my thoughts, to share my knowledge, whatever knowledge I have gained till now. And I have a sincere appeal to all the participants that they should have an open mind, because we all are co-learner. It's not the fact that I will deliver, I will go on speaking something and they will listen everything. Of course, there is a constant in the webinars like thing that the frequent interaction is not possible. Still, make your mind open and preserve your thoughts within you to interact later on. So with this thought, I am starting that we all are the co-learners. Let me have the chance of learning something from the participants also, because all of you are either the scholars or the faculty members in any college or universities. So I can be considered in that same level also, because I am also learning. Now in this connection, I'll start a topic which is very frequently used by every researchers, every academicians.
Sir, sorry to disturb you, sir. Sir,
Yes.
your voice is audible, but it's low. Can you please increase the volume so that it is clearly audible to all?
Dr. Sudhanshu, it is, I think, the maximum audio I have in my microphone. Is there any scope in the laptop to increase the audio?
It is audible, sir, but the volume is low. So participants are requesting to increase the volume. That's all.
Now it is okay?
Yeah, it is audible, sir, but again, if you
Okay,
can
it
increase,
is?
sir.
It is okay now?
Yes, sir. Please.
Is it okay now?
Sir. Yes, sir. Please continue, sir.
It is okay now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fine. Please continue, sir.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
So
you, sir.
more frequently the researchers are using this predicting. So it depends on statistical technique mostly. Of course, the theory is used in actual forecasting, prediction, and but more often used in economics in a predictive.
Voice is breaking.
Sir, voice is breaking, sir.
aware of-
Hello, sir. Sir, voice is breaking.
Yes, is okay.
Yes, sir.
No,
Still it is breaking, sir.
no.
Initially it was fine. Now it is breaking, sir.
Is it what
Sir?
comfortable if we remove?
No, sir.
remove
Again it is breaking, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Audio-
voice is breaking. No, sir. It is not audible, sir.
Hello. Sudhanshu? Hello. Hello. Sudhanshu, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please.
If possible, you run the PPT. I think there's a problem from Sarosh sir. If possible, you play the PPT and let him to speak.
No, actually, sir's voice is not audible. That's the problem. I'm just talking to sir. Within a minute or two, it will be fine. Just wait.
Okay, maximum people, they're saying that they're not able to join.
Yes,
Maybe
yes,
they're
yes,
in-
yes.
Sudhanshu sir.
I'm talking to sir.
Okay.
Sudhanshu sir, Professor Abhijit here.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Abhijit sir, please.
Sir, it's completely audible, your voice as well as I think Bardha sir is just
No,
now
no,
talking about. Okay.
both of our
And
voice
in
is
the
audible.
previous Professor Saroj sir.
Actually, the problem is with
Yeah.
Saroj's end. Both of our voice is audible. The problem is with Saroj's end. So
Okay.
his
So,
voice is not audible. I'm just talking to sir.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please. Yeah,
Please wait for 2
yeah.
minutes.
Please
I'm
tell
talking
him
to sir.
rejoin. Okay. Don't worry. Okay.
Is it visible and audible?
Yes, sir. Now it is audible. Please, sir.
Visible and audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm sorry for
perfectly,
the
sir.
disturbance. It is because of the internet connectivity.
No issues,
Okay.
sir. Sir, please continue, sir. No issues, sir.
Okay. Directly I'm starting. So I have left my discussion that more often in the academic research we use this technique as a predictive technique, and we use this technique for our thesis or for the articles, that how some variables are related and the dependent variable or criterion variable depends upon, or the predictors or the independent variables influence. Based upon your objective or based upon your hypothesis that has been derived from your literature review, you use these techniques. The moment you decided to use the technique, from the very beginning you need to ensure regarding your data properties, because the data property or the data characteristics based upon the scale decide everything of your technique that is going to be used. once your data property is decided, or once your data property or nature of the data based upon your scale, you have decided or you have confirmed, now you need to be ensure that whether I am going to adopt the multiple regression, and again under the multiple regression, is it multiple linear regression or simple linear regression or logistic regression or ordinal regression or so far so on. Now the moment you have ensured the data property is fine or it is fitting according to the theory or concept, now you are going to use the multiple linear regression. The today's session I will confirm only on these three type of regression, although there are so many types of regressions are there that are used in the social science research or management research. Now the moment I said we have already decided, I think in your previous sessions also, so many resource persons has talked about the scale and scale values and the properties of the data that has been collected through those scales. So broadly, without spoiling so much of time, broadly I can say, is this metric data or non-metric data? Most of the metric data we call the interval scale or ratio scale, non-metric data we call as the ordinal scale or nominal scales. And frequently we are using the categorical data or categorized, the ordinal data or the nominal data we say categorized data, and other two data type, that is interval scale or ratio scale data that we have collected, we say these are all continuous data. So without saying so much of things, the researchers used to say it's a continuous data or categorical data. Now first we will go to the linear regression, and we know already the linear regression can be simply or broadly categorized into simple linear regression or multiple linear regression.
Sir, can you have the full screen of the PPT, please, sir?
Okay.
Yes,
As
sir.
we know,
Thank you, sir.
as we know, broadly the regression or linear regression we categorize as a simple linear regression or multiple linear regression, depends upon the independent variables. Now definitely the dependent variable or criterion variable is one. In the simple linear regression, the independent variable or predictor is the single one if it is a simple linear regression. Is a multiple linear regression, then the independent variables or the predictors are multiple. So in this case only we will discuss the multiple linear regressions, because the complexity in the multiple linear regressions are much more. In the multiple linear regression, the most important fact is the assumptions. We have already discussed all these things. The regression depends upon the nature or degree of relationship. If we precedes our discussion up to the kind of relationship or degree of relationship, we'll start our discussion from the chi-square, where relationship exists or not we know. In the correlation, the degree of relationship we know. But in the regression, both the degree of relationship and the direction, that means upon which it is influencing or upon which it is depending, these are all known in the regression analysis. But in the multiple linear regression, the assumptions need to be met. And this is very, very much important than multiple linear regression. So these are all the assumptions. If you say no outlier, it is not possible in the real research. So let us say that is, we should ensure that very less outliers. There are so many techniques to find out the outliers that you can directly go to the descriptive statistics in the SPSS. Yes, let me confirm that most of my discussion are concentrated upon the SPSS outputs, because so many data analysis packages are there, starting from Strata to the ListRel to the eViews. So many statistical data analysis techniques are there, but most of my discussion will concentrate upon or focus upon the SPSS. So in the SPSS, we can go to the statistics, so analyze, then descriptive statistics, and there is an option outliers. From that you can get the outliers. the exact respondent which are far away from the expected range of respondent is called as outliers. That means that outlier, we are calling that an outlier because it is not a true representative of the population. In the predictive technique, we estimate something that will be, the result will be projected to the population. Thus, if any particular respondent is not representing the entire population, rather, it is better not to consider the outliers. So the exact number of outliers of your SPSS data file, suppose respondent number 59, respondent number 51, or respondent number 71, the exact number of outliers that will be shown in a graph or that will be shown in a chart in that output. And after that, those outliers you can delete for further analysis. So please ensure that very less number of outliers are there. Now moving to the next most important assumption is linearity. The very name is multiple linear regression. So unless and until you assume that the linearity exists, there is no use of this regression technique. If there is no linearity, again, there is a question, sir, before analyzing the data, before going to the analysis, how can we assume that there is a linearity exists? Again, the answer lies on the literature review. Let me give a very good quotation of the great scientist Isaac Newton. Once upon a time, he said, if I know further than others, then it is standing or it is sitting upon the shoulders of the elders. This particular proverb or this particular quotation you might have been heard in most of the research workshops. Now, if somebody asks, sir, how can you know that the linearity exists between the data or between the variables and the data I have collected? On the data, the variables are linearly related. How can we relate? Again, the kind of objective or type of objective or hypothesis you have said, that you have said based upon the literature review. So if your literature review is supporting that variable X is depending upon Y, Z, and K, then definitely there is a linearity. So by default, you are assuming there is a linearity. And if the linearity does not exist, then there is not necessary, or there is the multiple linear regression is valueless. Moving to the next, independent observations. Now, as you know, the observed data that you have collected from the field survey or various techniques of data collections are there. This platform is not, or my session is not okay for discussing the data collection instrument. Still, I will say the observed data must be independent. What does it mean? No way the observed data should say that it is latent upon, or it is a latent variable. That means it cannot be observed and which is depend upon other variables. Rather, the independence of the particular data or the particular variable lies on while you collected the data from the field or by the survey instrument. Each and every variables, the variable may represent a single question that we popularly call as item. One variable may represent one item, or one variable may represent 2-3 items. In that case, if the one variable represents 2-3 items, you go to the explorative factor analysis, which is a explorative type of research. I am not going to that part. So if one variable represents one item of your questionnaire, that should be completely independent. So many other types of statistical techniques are there to discuss or to identify or to justify there is an independence of the observed data or not. Moving to the next, the normality of residuals or errors. We will clarify while I will discuss or while I will execute in the SPSS file how the error term is normality, and ultimately it will justify the homoscedasticity assumption. That means in the next assumption I said the homoscedasticity assumption should not be violated. If in the reverse way we will say that if the level of heteroscedasticity is very less, then we can say the homoscedasticity assumption is justified. Now it is very much important because in the multiple linear regression, the variance of dependent variable is assumed to be equally vary or equally distributed over levels of independent variables. If it is a 5-point Likert scale, there are 5 levels. If it is a 7-point Likert scale, there are 7 levels. You might have heard in various workshops or various sessions that more often we take the 7-point or 9-point Likert scale nowadays because the data is more continuous in that way and the prediction will be more accurate. So if the dependent variable variance will be distributed over, equally distributed over the levels of the independent variables, then we can say the homoscedasticity assumption is justified. And while you operate through SPSS, we justify that the heteroscedasticity is very less. I will show it while I will execute it through the SPSS operations. Now moving to the sixth assumption, that is no multicollinearity assumption. You assume that is no multicollinearity and you justify while you analyze the data, yes, really my assumption is justified. My assumption holds good. A little description of multicollinearity I will say, because I will the moment I will operate through SPSS, I will describe at that time. The multicollinearity simply says the relationship between independent variables, which is not desirable by the researcher in the multiple linear regression. Because the interest of the research in the multiple linear regression is the relation between the dependent and independent, not the relation between independent and independent, which is an error, which is definitely an error, and that exaggerate the adjusted R-square value. Once the exaggerated adjusted R-square value you are predicting to the population, it will give a false information. Because the real adjusted R-square, I will describe that the adjusted R-square, do not worry. The real adjusted R-square, while representing the population, the projection of sample result to the population will be accurate. If it is exaggerated, then the projection of sample result to the population will be falsified. So while the machine or the SPSS or the statistical information or the statistical interpretation is giving to you, the adjusted R-square accumulate every relationship, and within that some relationship of the independent variables are there which is not desirable and hence which is error, and this type of error we call as a multicollinearity. So the multicollinearity should be very less or no multicollinearity, and the real research no multicollinearity is impossible, so rather we will say it's very less multicollinearity. And the seventh one is autocorrelation. There should not be any autocorrelation, which we will justify from the SPSS output from the statistics of Dublin-Watson. Now, why autocorrelation is an error or is an very disturbance for the multiple linear regression? If autocorrelation exists, the independent variables automatically reshuffle within themselves among their variables. In that case, the dependent variable to whom they are predicting will give a false result. So that's why let me relate this no autocorrelation to the independence of observation, that is number 3 assumption. If the observed data are completely independent to each other or very highly independent to each other or less very correlation between each other, then definitely the autocorrelation will be less. So moving to the list, other some important or some of the less important assumptions are there. I am not going to that part because of the time constraint. So these are the 7 assumptions the researchers need to justify or the researchers need to ensure before going to multiple linear regression. So I have already discussed the estimation technique. The dependent variables depends upon the independent variable, or independent variables are influencing or having an impact on dependent variables. This language you will find or you will explore from the literature review. And according to the literature, you might have been fixed the objectives or hypotheses accordingly, whether it is depending or it is influencing or it is impacting. This language you will use, but we interchangeably use for the sake of understanding the basic theme. Now these are all the discussion I said. The simple linear regression, as I have already said, is a single independent variable. So the x represents the single independent variables and y represents the dependent variable. We know already there is a single regression line that is fitting to the data. Moving to the next. This is what we all know, because we all are the participants are learned here. They have already passed their coursework, their MPhil, their PG, and they must be knowing all these things. Y is equal to a plus bx or b0 plus b1x1, b1x in the simple linear regression, where b0 or a is a constant and obviously it is a y-intercept. From the y-intercept, the value again go on estimating up to the independent variable. This is the simple linear thing. Just to draw your attention to the linear regression, I have put here because it is a very basic thing all of you must be knowing. In the multiple linear regression, the y dependent variable depends upon x1, x2, x3, likewise up to the xn. The variables that you have defined in your research or the variables that you have defined in your hypothesis or objective. Now the x1, x2, x3, these are the independent variables in the multiple linear regression, and the y is the dependent variable, where the y is predicted by x1, x2, x3, likewise up to the xn. Or we can say the y depends upon the x1, x2 up to the xn. More often we use the exogenous and endogenous variables. The exogenous variables is nothing but very simple, that is the independent variables, and the endogenous variable are dependent variable. And we use the exogenous relating to that assumption that is independence, that are independent. Now moving to the next, this is what is equation. I have already explained. For the sake of your better convenience or better explanation, this is the fact that the x1, x2, xn up to the xn, that is the number of independent variables that has been predefined by the researchers, and dependent variable is y. And it is impossible in the real life research that the entire variance of dependent variable can be explained by independent variables that has been considered by the research. Hence, it is very obvious that there will be some left behind variance or left out variance which has not been accumulated or accommodated by the independent variables. Very simple term, we say these are all the errors designated by E or residuals, again E, or somebody, some of the articles it has been designated as D, they are considered as deviations. So let us already define that y is equal to b0 plus b1 x1 b2 x2, likewise up to the bn xn, and plus e, where it is a random error, which will be obvious in our practical research. And the error is nothing but the residuals. Very simple. The error is nothing but the residuals. That means the magnitude or amount of variance the independent variables could not explain of your considered dependent variable. Now this is what the regression line you have fitted. These are all the things you have already known in your basic theory. Just have a glance at here, so that the participants can have the focus on the multiple linear regression. So the fitted line has been fitting to the observed data. Based upon the fitted line, so many other calculations are there, like a least square, likewise the deviation that you are calculating, and from the error you are fitted line, you are saying that the line is fitting or not. Now in the multiple linear regression, these are all three major, so many other patterns are there, but the three major patterns of relationship. There is a strong positive relationship, there is a strong negative relationship, or no relationship exists, because the fitting line cannot explain the majority of the data points in the platform or in the plot. So the question lies, if no relationship exists, then your analysis of multiple linear regression or regression is not fitting to your data. Rather, you can go for any competing model or any competing analysis. Again, if somebody will ask the question that if at that time also I cannot go for, or the technique is not fitting to the data. So the final question or final answer lies, if any such parametric test, there are two major types of test, parametric and non-parametric test, and the parametric test based upon the first and foremost or compulsory assumption that the data is normally following, or normality assumption. It is another assumption because it is compulsory. I have not mentioned in the assumption list. So if somebody will ask the question, sir, I have applied the multiple linear regression, it is not fitting. I have applied its technique, it is not fitting, but still I can see. So there is no other way, you have to go for non-parametric test. Even you have collected some primary data, even the sample size is high, but if somebody will ask, there is a compulsory need, there is a very urgent need of my research or of my objective or hypothesis that I need to test the dependency or influence or impact or prediction, then you have to go for the non-parametric test. Although there are so many debates in the non-parametric test that it cannot be projected to the population, how can we adapt that? But that again, that depends upon the objective or hypothesis. Again, if it is a matter of article publication in the journal, then it is the requirement of journal. If they accept and if they focus on the result more rather than the technique, they may accept. If they require very much technique, then they may not accept that. These are all far away discussion. I will not go to that part. So in the real research, this will show you the regression line, it is fitting. Sorry. Now, here I am making a break of my theoretical explanation to you. I will directly go to the SPSS. If the participants are ready, they can practice.
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir. Sir, your voice is breaking, sir. It is not audible.
Dr. Sudhanshu, should I go to?
Sir, yes, sir, but your voice is not clear. It is not clearly audible. I think there must be
practical
some
Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right now you are audible.
I'm sorry for the internet connectivity. There is a lot of problem here.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
It is seen now.
Yes, sir.
The data file is seen now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, begging sorry for this internet connectivity disturbance. I was talking about the multiple linear regression, and this is a data file of my own research, where I was doing the research based upon the motivations of sales employee of the insurance agents or insurance sales employee and their relation to the performance. Now, I'll directly perform the multiple linear regression without making any delay. Analyze, regression, then linear. Now, here is the dialog box. Step by step, I will take it to the analysis. So here is the sales performance. Okay, let me make it as a continuous data, the sales performance, because for my purpose, it was required the ordinal. So I made the ordinal. For the sake of analysis here, let me go to the scale value. Again, regression, linear, then sales performance, I am taking to the dependent, and I will exhibit here the level of satisfaction as the independent variables. There are so many other independent variables are there in my research, but for the sake of presenting here, I will take the level of satisfaction in various attributes. So I am taking this independent variables to the independent set. Yes, I have taken. Now I'll go to the statistics. So I do not require this R square change, because the moment I will explain the forward and backward regression, I will put it or I will make it tick. So right now I need something regarding the descriptive, part and partial, and collinearity diagnostic. Now for the autocorrelation I was talking about, that is Dublin-Watson. Let me choose the Dublin-Watson also. Now continue. Now plot. I was talking about, please remember the heteroscedasticity. A particular plot is given by the SPSS to judge the heteroscedasticity. That means to justify the homoscedasticity assumption. So the residuals I will take to the x-axis, and the residuals of the standard value I will take to the y-axis. And from the normality plot of those residuals or error, I can easily judge whether the heteroscedasticity exists or not, or how much of heteroscedasticity exists. If very less heteroscedasticity exists, then I can say that homoscedasticity assumption is justified. So let me choose the histogram of those error distribution also. So simultaneously, both the assumptions will be justified. I repeatedly say in the multiple linear regression, justifying the assumption or assumptions should not be violated, that you should take care maximum. So these two assumptions, that the error terms are normally distributed or the normality exists for the error terms, and there is very less heteroscedasticity, these two options I will choose. Now continue. Now going to the save, nothing to choose. If, let me say again, if you want to know the outliers in your preliminary analysis, if you want to remove the outlier, it is a very small technique rather than to go to the Mahalanobis distance. From the Mahalanobis distance, you can easily identify the particular respondent or the particular data line or the row in your SPSS file that need to be deleted. The Mahalanobis distance, we'll see. These are all tested here, so I'm not going to that part. So if you want to remove your outliers in your initial analysis, then you can make a tick or you can choose the Mahalanobis distance also. So nothing to include here. Now I'll go to the options. Again, nothing to include here. because it is a case-wise exclude. Continue. And the style is okay also. Nothing to change. Then there is no need of bootstrap. Please remember here, the by default choice, it is enter. That means the researcher forced all the independent variables to enter to the regression, which is unlikely in the stepwise regression or backward regression or forward regression. After this, I will say you how this backward regression or forward regression or the stepwise regression will happen. So here, I need not to change anything here. So, okay. So automatically there will be separate. I think all of you or most of you might have been used the SPSS and these things you might be knowing, but I will directly go to the things what I need to be interpreted for the thesis purpose or article purpose. So the things I said the end the particular table says how the variables are entered or removed, and all the variables of the independent variables I have taken has been entered in this way. Now, first I will go to this ANOVA table, because this will say the model justification. That means our multiple linear regression technique or the model we will build from the multiple linear regression is fitting to my data or not. Because irrespective of any magnitude or any attractiveness of this result, if the model is not fitting to the data, then the rest of the results are valueless. So interpreting this, first I will look at this SIZ, which we popularly call as the p-value, because the probability of acceptance. Most of the time we confuse that how it is connected to the null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. Generally, the way we are doing in the manual calculation of hypothesis testing, we calculate a particular statistics, then we compare with the critical value which was there in the table, then we say if the calculated value is greater than the critical value, H0 is rejected. If the calculated value is less than the critical value, the H0 is rejected. H0 is accepted. But here the SPSS has done everything for you. Rather we say the probability of acceptance. That means if you directly say we are testing the alternative hypothesis here, which means we can, in the language we can say the hypothesis is supported or not supported. So it is better to use supporting or not supporting. In the various articles you might have been seen, while you do the literature review, you can see the articles are saying hypothesis is supported or not supported. So these are all some basic confusion lies upon the beginners. I think all of the audience here, those who are participating in the workshop, are very much aware of this statistical analysis through SPSS, so no need to go to the depth. So if it is the level of confidence or the level of error is 5%, that means the value must be, this p-value must be less than 0.05. So here it is 0.003. It is well behind 0.05. So we can say the F statistics is significant. We can interpret in this way, the F statistics is significant. That means the multiple linear regression model is fitting to my data. Once the multiple linear regression technique is fitting to my data, I can say the sample result can be projected to the population. Otherwise, the sample result is so unique that the result is only applicable to the sample or not to the population. And we are using this type of predictive techniques. For the sake of the projection of the result to the population and not to the sample itself. Because if it is sample itself, then it will become the research type, case study type of research. I'm not going to that part. So now it is clear.
Sir, sorry to disturb you, sir. Sir, Soumyasri Mohanty ma'am want to ask you a question related to this particular part. Ma'am, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, good morning, sir.
Okay.
Sir, actually, is this the critical value that we are considering for deciding the hypothesis? Is it the tabulated value that we compare with calculated one, or is it a fixed critical value that considered?
No, no, madam. No, no, madam. The moment I got your question. I got your question. I got your question.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes.
got your question. Okay, okay. I got your question. Please mute. Please mute. I got your question.
Okay, sir.
See, most of the time we confuse for the same purpose I said, most of the time the beginners confuse that while we are doing manually, we are calculating a statistics, we are comparing the critical value, then we are saying if the calculated value is lesser than the critical value, then hypothesis or H0 is accepted. If the critical value or the calculated value is more than the critical value, then hypothesis is rejected. But I have repeatedly said that all these operations has already been made by the SPSS. No need to compare with any particular critical value that is available in your table, Z table or T table or chi-square table. That
Yes, sir. Got
means
it, sir.
the
Thank you, sir.
probability of acceptance, the probability, let me clarify again, the probability of acceptance the SPSS is giving to you. By which probability you are accepting your hypothesis. And here the hypothesis means the alternative hypothesis. Suppose in my operation, there is a significant positive relationship of performance on the satisfaction criteria. And this is the alternative hypothesis for me. If I will manually do, I will write H0 is such that these independent variables do not significantly influence the performance. Do not. Because my aim is to justify the performance depends upon the criteria of the satisfaction. So the SPSS is saying directly your alternative hypothesis is supported or not. So the probability, that's why we are saying it is a p-value. I think up to this, am I convincing to the madam?
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Sudhanshu, I am convincing?
Yes, sir. Any other questions
Okay,
from
okay.
the participants as of now? Please, you can ask directly to sir, please.
I think let me complete these two things. After 10 minutes, they can ask.
Sir, another question. One of the participant asked recently. He wants to know that. Just repeat again. Homo and heteroscedasticity within a minute or two, please, sir.
Okay. I'll repeat. Do not worry. I have already said that I will explain detail in the SPSS operation. Do not worry. Huh?
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Please.
Okay. So now moving to the next, because time is very short. Moving to the next, the model summary. I will go. Here there are three values: R square, adjusted R square. Now, as because my model is fitting to the data, I will go to the R. It is very simple. The R is nothing but a simple magnitude of correlation. It's a magnitude of correlation. And the R square says the degree of relationship in a particular direction. That means the independent variables are influencing or putting impact, or reversely we can say the dependent variable depends.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
That means in the technical term we say how much the Hello.
Yes, sir. Please.
Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Acha, did I lose any information or just it is just the 2 second,
Sir,
2 second matter?
last 1 minute. Can you please repeat again? Last 1 minute.
Okay. So this model summary, should I repeat?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. So let us focus these three values: R square and adjusted R square. The R refers to simple correlation, magnitude of correlation between the dependent variable and independent variables. Or we can say in general the variables, because in the R, dependent independent nature is not considered. And the R square refers the amount of variance or magnitude of variance of dependent variable that has been explained by the independent variables. Frankly saying, the magnitude of relationship along with the direction. And the technical term we say the amount of variance of dependent variable that has been explained by the independent variables. So we can say 0.107 means almost 11%. It is very less. But for the sake of explaining here, I'm saying here almost 11% of variance of dependent variable is explained by the independent variables. And moving to the next, the adjusted R square. What it is? A particular pessimistic view has been imposed here, or a parsimonious view has been imposed here. Because the moment the same variables, the same technique I will reflect it in a new data set, how much it will be. Because repeatedly we are saying, is it feasible that the sample result of my research to project to the population? One answer to this question that if the same research will be replicated in new data set, carrying the same variable, carrying the same dependent variable and same independent variable, then the answer is obviously no, if we are considering the R square. That's why little pessimistic view is imposed here and the adjusted R square is taken. So obviously the R square will be little bit higher than the adjusted R square, or the adjusted R square will be little bit lesser than the R square. So the adjusted R square is nothing but making a data or making the model that is here, the multiple linear regression model, very much feasible to be applicable to a broader population, not to the sample itself. Second answer, that if this particular model, if these same variables will be replicated in new data set, how likely that the dependent variable is depending upon the independent variables. If you are replicating this particular research in a new data set, then definitely the reality says the answer will not exactly matching to my research if I will consider the R square. So putting to or imposing a particular restriction to the R square, the researcher go to the adjusted R square. So while reporting the result in the thesis or the article, we ignore the R and R square, directly we focus on the adjusted R square. So the adjusted R square is 0.061. That means it is only 6%, very less. In the social range research, if it is more than 0.4 or 0.5, then we are considering it is acceptable, or it is acceptable to be reported in the thesis or in the articles. Some good journals, they do not accept it if it is less than 0.5. 0.5 means more than 50% of the variance of dependent variables can be explained by the independent variables, not only in this particular research, but also in the likely research in future or in the data set if I will replicate this technique again. Now, moving to the next, I will go to the Dublin-Watson. Time is very less, so I will continue very quickly. I will go to the Dublin-Watson. I have already said, please remember that the Dublin-Watson is important for the autocorrelation. A standard value that if the Dublin-Watson vary from 1.5 to 2.5, then there is less autocorrelation. That means the confidence upon the adjusted R square is more. If autocorrelation is more, that means if the value is somewhere 0.4, 0.3 or somewhere below 1.5, or the value more than 2.5, then we can say the autocorrelation is high, and this has ultimately exaggerated the adjusted R square, making the adjusted R square insignificant. Here the insignificant means it cannot be projected to the broader population. So the Dublin-Watson says, in my research or in this particular case, that it is under control. That means the autocorrelation assumption is justified. The autocorrelation assumption has not been violated because the Dublin-Watson is within 1.5 to 2.5. Then moving to the next, another important thing, that is multicollinearity. Dr. Sudhanshu, I am audible to all clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now coming to the next or another important assumption, that is multicollinearity. And these are all, I said multicollinearity is a error. This is a relationship between independent. I'm sorry. So the relation between independent and independent is not desirable by the researcher while the researcher is adopting the multiple linear regression. Rather, the interest of the researcher is the relation between dependent and independent variables. So the technique is giving you the R square or adjusted R square as a whole. Sorry, R square as a whole. That means all type of relationship has been accumulated there. Within that, the relationship between independent and independent exists, which is not desirable. Hence, is a error. And this type of error, we or the researcher justify through the multicollinearity. So the multicollinearity should be very, very less. Although no multicollinearity cannot be possible, so we can say multicollinearity is very less. So starting from the VIF values, variance inflation factor values. So the variance inflation factor values must be less than 2. Is a standard value. Variance inflation factor must be less than 2. Please see, all the values are less than 2 here. So first indication I got that the multicollinearity is less. So somebody will ask, sir, why 2? Most of the time we take the 5% level of significance. In the 5% level of significance, the Z value is 1.98. So overall we take is a 2. So more pessimistically or more realistically, if you take, then if you can go for 1.1% level of significance, so it should be less than 1.64. So generally, if the result is reported below 2 in the articles,
Sir, voice is breaking, sir. Hello, sir. Sir, voice is breaking right now. Yes, sir, it is paused. Kindly rejoin again. Your voice is not audible.
but
No, sir, it is not audible. It's breaking, sir.
কোটা আছে audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm extremely sorry for the disturbance. What I can say?
No issues, sir. Sir, please. It's a
Continue.
technical issue, sir. We cannot do anything, sir. Please, sir. Please continue, sir.
Continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think the multicollinearity issue I was discussing, the VIF value that has been completed, or should I repeat?
No, it has been completed, sir.
Okay, let me come to the tolerance value. Tolerance value I was continuing. Should I repeat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the tolerance value says it is another indicator of multicollinearity issue. The tolerance value says, suppose I will take this particular value 0.715 of this particular first independent
Sir, again, voice is breaking, sir. Hello, sir. Sir, voice is breaking again.
model. Huh.
It's audible,
Continuing
sir.
now?
Yes, sir. Now
Audible? Audible?
yes, sir. Sir, your page is not showing. Kindly present the screen, sir.
Audible now? Dr. Sudhanshu, I am audible now?
Sir.
Audible now?
Yes, sir. Please.
What to say? I am very sorry. Unfortunately, what to do? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
You say it. Otherwise, I am confused whether I am audible or not.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
should I continue?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. So the tolerance value is over, or should I repeat again?
No, please repeat, sir.
Is that the first independent variable 0.715. See, Dr. Sudhanshu, the moment it is not audible, immediately say, huh?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. So the first independent variable tolerance value is 0.715. That means 71% variance that this particular independent variable explain from the dependent variable cannot be explained by other variables, other independent variables. That means it is a strong independent variable. Likewise, if I'll go to the third independent variable, the value is 0.802. That means 80% variance of this independent variable cannot be explained by other independent variables of this particular model. Again, if I'll go to this last independent variable, that is level of satisfaction on additional responsibility given by the company. Here, this independent variable says 0.860. That means 80% variance of this independent variable cannot be explained by rest of the independent variables of this model. These three independent variables explain how much of variance, and the 64 or 60% variance or 61% variance cannot be explained by other independent variables. So, although there is no thumb rule, we say above 0.7 or above 0.8, very restrictively we say above 0.8 value is desirable. That means 80% variance of the constant independent variable cannot be explained by other independent variables, so that we can say the multicollinearity is less. So again, I repeat, the variance inflation factor should be less than 2. The tolerance value should be approached towards 1. That means 0.8 above, or in the social science research, we consider 0.7 above. Because 0.7 above means 0.7 means 70% of the particular independent variable variance cannot be explained by other independent variables. That means that independent variable is completely independent. There is no relationship with other independent variables. Hence, the multicollinearity assumption has not been violated. Here, in my case study, here in my research, some of the independent variables are less than 0.7. Hence, I can say there is a little risk of multicollinearity in this case. There is a risk of little multicollinearity. Now, the third indicator of multicollinearity is the zero order partial and part. So the partial and part, if suddenly fall from the zero order, then I can say there is an issue of multicollinearity. That means multicollinearity is a little bit high. So if the partial and part values will not suddenly follow, then I can say that independent variable is not related with other independent variables. It is fully independent. So let us consider this particular independent variable, satisfaction on current salary. The part value 0.018, the partial value 0.019, and the zero order is 0.1. That means these two value is very deeply reducing or reduced than the zero order. So it is said if the part and partial value is suddenly following or is suddenly falling from the zero order, then we can say that is a severe multicollinearity. Suppose this value will be 0.6 or 0.7, I can consider that it is not suddenly falling from the zero order, because the zero order is 0.1, but it is 0.01, not even 0.1. Forget about 0.5. So it is suddenly falling from the zero order. Hence, for this particular independent variable, I can say there is a risk of multicollinearity. There is a risk of multicollinearity. From all these three things, we can consider how much important to consider the multicollinearity issue. Although all the values of BIF says there is no multicollinearity, some of the values of tolerance value say there is a little multicollinearity, but most of the values of part and partial says there is a serious issue of multicollinearity. Because if you consider these are all minus values, that means suddenly falling from the zero order value. So if somebody will strictly follow that the multicollinearity issues should be very less, then this research may say that the adjusted R square is not that much of confident, because there is a issue of multicollinearity here. Now coming to the next, heteroscedasticity. Because of the less time, I should not continue in that multicollinearity much more. So I will go to the heteroscedasticity. So again, I repeat, what is that heteroscedasticity or homoscedasticity? The assumption of homoscedasticity should not be violated. That means heteroscedasticity should be less. So what is homoscedasticity? The variance of dependent variables are equally distributed or similarly distributed over the levels of independent variables. Suppose the independent variables are scale value or continuous value of 5-point Likert scale or 7-point Likert scale, the values or the labels are from 1 to 7 or 1 to 5. Upon all the labels from 1 to 7 of all the independent variables, the variance of dependent variables are equally distributed, or if not equally, almost equally distributed. If this is the case, then I will say homoscedasticity assumption has not been violated. If the variance of dependent variable is unevenly or unequally distributed over the labels of independent variables, then I can say there is a issue of the heteroscedasticity. That means heteroscedasticity is high if the variance of dependent variable is unevenly or unequally distributed over the labels of independent variables. Technically, this is judged by the error term. So the error term should be equally distributed over the independent variable labels. So this graph says the error terms are equally distributed, almost following a pattern. That means it is merging to the estimated line. So I can say, although here little bit heteroscedasticity is there, but overall I can say the heteroscedasticity is less. Overall I can say the heteroscedasticity is less because the error term is equally distributed over the labels of independent variables. Theoretically, we can say the variance of dependent variable is distributed equally over the independent variables. Again, looking at the another graph, you can say here, this is more accurate to say the homoscedasticity assumption has been violated or not. Look at here, this is 0 and this is 0. If almost half of your points or value points will be above the 0 here, will be above the 0 in y-axis, and almost half of these points will be below the 0 of y-axis, then we can say the first indication of less heteroscedasticity. Again, coming to the next, in the x-axis, the 0 is here. If almost half of the data points will be left-hand side of the 0 of x-axis, and almost half of the data points will be right-hand side of the 0 of x-axis, then we can say heteroscedasticity is less, and hence homoscedasticity assumption has not been violated. So in both of these data plotting figure, we concluded that the heteroscedasticity is less, hence homoscedasticity assumption has not been violated. Now here, another assumption has not been violated, I can say, that is error term is evenly distributed or error term is distributed equally. That means normality of error term. Please confirm, I am talking about normality of error term, not normality what I said initially, the data should be normal. At that time, the normality of population, that means probability values of population should be normally distributed is the first and foremost assumption of every parametric test. I am not talking about that matter here. I am talking about the normality of error term. So the normality of error term, although strictly not normal, but almost it is following normality. So another assumption I can say that the error term is following normality is justified. That means the assumption of normality distribution of error term has not been violated here. So I think almost all assumption that has not been violated I have justified. While reporting any of one of the variable or one of the chart you can show in your article, not necessarily both of the charts. So this chart or this particular data plotting figure you can report in your article, not necessarily both of the charts. So Dr. Sudhanshu, should I stop here of the linear regression?
Yes, sir. Please.
So should I take the question regarding linear regression?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Sir, we
Okay.
have the questions from Mamta Sharma, ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear us, please?
Yes, sir.
Mamta Sharma, ma'am, can you hear us?
Sir,
Your voice is not audible, ma'am.
Okay,
Is it
Dr. Sudhanshu.
audible now?
No, ma'am, it is not clearly audible. Sir is in line. Just wait for the minute. I'll request Dr. Pallavi, ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can ask the question to sir. Your VIF related question.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, VIF, as we have seen, it is the range lies between 5 to 10 value. So if we get something around 10, or if we get something which is nearing 5, then will that be also acceptable, and we can say the independent variables have less collinearity?
Yes, in some of the research you are very much right. Nowadays, in some of the research they are taking that less than 2, less than 10, more than 2. You are right. But,
Okay, sir.
But it is better if you consider it is less than 2. See, I'm clarifying that confusion of 10. What is
Yes,
that
sir.
10? What is that 10? The cells of covariance or correlation. That means, suppose I will say I have taken here the labels are from 1 to 5-point Likert scale for all the independent variables and for the dependent variables also. So
Okay.
for every independent variable, there is a combination of dependent variable. 1 to 5 of first independent variable, 1 to 5 of second independent variable, 1 to 5 of third independent variable, to the dependent variable, to the dependent variable. So
Yes, sir.
so all the combined figure, if you combined cell, if you will design in a cross tabulation table, there will be so many tables. Suppose it is 10 independent variable and 1 dependent variable, so it will be factorial of 10 or something like that. So all the cells
Okay.
of independent variables with respect to dependent variables should be filled. So in that case, it is 10 because 5-point
Okay,
Likert
okay.
5-point Likert scale of dependent variable, 5-point Likert scale of independent variables. So we say it is less than 10 and more than 2. In that sense, it is said. But if you say,
Okay.
but if you say it is a variance inflation factor, so strictly we should go for 2, less than 2. Otherwise, nowadays the articles are accepting it is more than 2, less than 10. It is accepted, no matter.
But sir, you also cross-checked regarding like we in this model which you are showing, we have VIF like good values of VIF, but again you are cross-checking the collinearity through correlations of zero order, partial and part. So do we need to do this also to confirm that our model is fit enough to proceed?
Definitely, it is necessary. See,
Okay,
all these things. I got your question. I got your question. See, all these things lies upon what type of journal you are targeting. Some of the
Okay.
journal they are accepting tolerance and BIF. They do not. If you do not report the result of zero order, part and partial, they do not consider. But some of the high quality journal, they are considering all the values. Zero
Okay.
order, partial, part, tolerance, BIF. But generally, some of the journal they are accepting if the tolerance value and BIF value is up to the mark or under the standard, they are accepting that. But here,
Okay, sir.
but here it is necessary. Why? In my case, it is necessary. Why? If the tolerance value, all the tolerance value, I would have got more than 8. Then there is no necessity of going to the part and partial.
Okay.
As because some of the tolerance value is less than 7 also, there is a necessity of cross-checking to the zero order.
Okay, so any tolerance value that is more than 8, we need not go for cross-checking anymore through correlation table.
Maybe.
Okay.
All the BIF value is less than 10, or in your case that is more than 2, less than 10. All the
Okay,
values
okay.
all the values of BIF here, if less than 2,
Okay.
and tolerance value is more than 8, then
Okay.
then most of the journals are accepting that. No need to cross check by zero order and partial. But if there is a doubt in tolerance, as I'm showing here, then you have to go for cross checking. You have to go for
Okay,
cross
sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Got it, sir.
Okay. Any other
Thank you
question?
so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Mamta Sharma, ma'am, can you hear me, please? Mamta Sharma from Jammu University.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, audible now?
No, your voice is cracking, ma'am. It is not clearly audible.
So, Dr.
Okay.
Sudhanshu, you can ask the question on behalf of her.
Yeah.
Sure, sir. Ma'am, wait, I am asking.
Okay.
Sir, she is asking what are the steps need to be followed in the SPSS to calculate the tolerance value?
Simply, it is clicking on an option. Clicking on the option of multicollinearity, and it will automatically coming here. Should I operate again?
Say possible, you can please, sir.
Should I operate again? Okay, I am operating here. Do not worry. See, analyze, regression, linear. Here in the option, no need to change. In the statistics, see, look at here. There is a part and partial. There is a collineated diagnostic. If you click these things, automatically it will come. Automatically the tolerance will come.
Okay, sir.
Automatically the tolerance will come. See, any other question, or should I proceed?
Yes, Soumyasri Mahanti, would you like to ask any questions? Yes, Sonalika Pati ma'am, please.
If no
Hello,
question,
Sonalika Pati ma'am, can you hear me?
if no question, I can proceed.
Ma'am, please.
I'm audible, sir?
Yes.
Sir, sir, in that first step you did that like Z pred, so one table was there. So is it necessary to do that?
Which table? Repeat again.
Sir, there was 6 components like for X variable and Y variable you shown. Z, sir, I actually don't remember the table's name. It was written Z pred PR, and there was like 6 to 6 parameters were written over this. So not in this one, sir. So while after going to analyze, sir. So from analyze. After doing, yes, sir, analyze.
Linear.
Then regression, linear.
Then plot.
The next, yes, sir, plots. I think plots.
Plots.
Yes, sir, this one, sir. So what?
It is. I got your question. It is
Sir?
very much
like can't.
I got your question. It
Yes,
is
sir.
very much necessary to judge the heteroscedasticity.
Okay, sir, is it compulsory like for Y we are going to use Z residual and for X it is Z predicted?
Because if you plot the residual with the Z predicted, then you get two things simultaneously. One, that is error term is normality following normality or not. Second, the heteroscedasticity is less or not. Unless and
Sir,
until-
what is the so
tell me.
other things are not necessary, sir, like Z, like D residual, adjusted predictor.
See,
those are also necessary?
I got your question. These two are basic. If somebody is testing all other things, then it is so far so good. But these two things are necessary. Then these two things are necessary. See, I got your question. If these two things plot, it's saying that there is very less heteroscedasticity, then no need to go for other things. If I got your question. What is your intention? If these plots are reflecting there is a doubt of heteroscedasticity, then you will go for here. Am I convincing to you?
Yes, sir.
If
Sir, by default, sir, we are going to take this. If the answer is not for heteroscedasticity, if it is not if it is not coming, then we can apply other methods and try.
Yes, exactly. See, if there is a doubt, like in the multicollinearity, I say there is a doubt in the tolerance, even if the VIF values are correct, there is a doubt in tolerance. Hence, I have gone to the pattern parcel, whether it is falling suddenly from the zero order or not. Likewise, if this particular plot will be
Hello, sir.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
Sir, not audible, sir.
Dr. Saroj, sir, your voice is not audible. No, sir, it is not audible.
audible now to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is audible now. Sonalika ma'am, please ask your question.
It is seen.
Yes, sir, it is
The
seen.
screen.
Yes, sir.
Should I
Sonalika ma'am, can you hear me? Okay, fine.
I know because of these particular disturbances, the audience must be bored.
No, sir, it's a technical issue. Nothing is in our hand. So I just request all the participants, any other questions you want to ask, you can, please.
So I think
Gayatri ma'am, yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon,
Sir,
please.
sir, in model summary, the standard error of the estimate, what does that represent, and that adjusted R square, can you please repeat, sir, adjusted R square?
Okay, I said the R square is the simple volume of correlation or the magnitude of correlation. The R square says the magnitude of correlation along with the direction. That means the dependent variable is depending or the independent variable is influencing or not. But the adjusted R square is little bit pessimistic in nature. That means if your research will be replicated in a new data set, the same variable, same thing, or the same
Yes,
model
sir.
will be same variable will be replicated in new data set, how likely you are ensuring that the same result or similar result you will get? And it is an obvious answer that if the same thing you will replicate in another survey or another research, then definitely the volume of or the magnitude of relationship you cannot get. So the researchers or the statistician give a pessimistic view or give a parsimonious penalty. The statistician give a parsimonious penalty, and hence in most of the cases you will see, the adjusted R square is less than the R.
Yes, sir. Sir, and
So
sir,
the
what is sir error term normality? That one is not clear, sir. Normality of error terms.
Normality of error term. Okay. So one of the assumption is the error term must be normally distributed or should follow the normality. So what is the error, madam? What is the error? It is the simple residual. That
Yes,
means,
sir.
that means the modeled data. Am I audible now clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible.
The modeled data, how much falling from the model data. That means the model data minus the observed data is the residual. That is the error.
Yes, sir.
That means the error should be normally distributed. Now we will ask the question, sir, if you will not normally distributed, what will happen? If
Yes,
the
sir.
error will not normally distributed, for some independent variable, it will be heavily depending or it will be heavily influencing the dependent variable. Other independent variables will remain silent. That means the significance of other independent variable is not visualized. But we are considering all the independent variables are as a whole depending or as a whole influencing the dependent variable. So the error term, if the error term will be unevenly, unequally distributed, some of the independent variables will be heavily influencing, some of the independent variables will be ignored. By that way, the relative importance of independent variable of one independent variable with respect to other, you cannot judge properly. Likewise, it will be more clear. Look at here.
Yes, sir.
Look here. The first independent variable standardized beta value is 0.021. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Second independent variable beta value, standardized beta value is 0.20. And first you need to look at the significance value or p value. So here the p value is less than 0.05. So the third independent variable, the individual impact is minus 0.132. That means this independent variable astonishingly deteriorating the performance. In one hand it is significant, in other hand it is minus 0.13. That means it is negatively influencing the performance. What is this? Satisfaction and current share scheme. That means if a particular sales employee is having more and more share of the company, then his propensity to less perform so far as sales is concerned. This particular is saying. But what you ask, that is error term, is it necessary?
Yes, sir. Sir, not audible,
See,
sir.
it is not normally distributed. It is not will happen. Hello. Sudhanshu is audible? Dr. Sudhanshu is audible?
Yes, sir. Now,
Yes, sir.
now, okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If the error term will not normally distributed, this thing will happen. Something will significant, something will not significant. This thing will happen. Is that
Okay.
right?
Yes,
So
sir. So we
that's why
should check.
yes, again.
Sir, we should check error term normality is a must.
Yes, you must. Yes, those all 7 assumptions of multiple linear regression is must. 2-3 other assumptions are there. I have not gone to that, but these 7 assumptions is must. In order to go for a quality journal, they will identify. They will identify whether in your reporting of result you have addressed the issue of these 7 assumptions or not. Very simple. High quality journal look at whether you have addressed the issue of this. Very simple.
Yes.
But in our thesis work, PhD thesis work, somehow the multicollinearity and heteroscedasticity assumption is okay. But if you go to the high quality journal, all the 7 assumptions I have initially said, you need to address the issues of the 7 assumptions while you are reporting the result in your article.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I think I should go for the next thing. Sudhanshu?
Yes, sir. Sir, please.
Okay. So next, I have thought of completing in 1 hour the normal this multicollinearity. So sorry, the multiple linear regression. But unfortunately, I have taken much more time because of the technical issues.
No issue, sir. Sir, please enlarge your screen so that it will be visible. Screen.
Yes. I'm going to that.
Yes, sir, please.
Now it is audible. Audible now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, please continue, sir.
Audible now.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry for all this issue. Audible now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, I think that is a problem while I am enlarging it. Is it okay with this presentation?
Yes, sir. It is okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine, sir. You can carry on with this.
Okay. So the next regression, I will go for the logistic regression. What is this logistic regression, or why it is required at all? So that is an obvious question. If the multiple linear regression is not fitting to the data, then what to do? Then the first answer, please check your dependent variable. If the dependent variable is not continuous, or if you are deliberately taken the dependent variable as categorical. And the second answer is whether your dependent variable says, or your objective or hypothesis says, that the probability of acceptance or not acceptance, probability of satisfaction or not satisfaction, probability of agree or disagree. If your objective or hypothesis is focusing on this type of answer, then you will go for logistic regression. Now, how probability of a particular occurrence, the probability of occurrence or the probability of the outcome of your event will be judged by the logistic regression. That means the dependent variable is in categorical or is in ordinal scale, but the independent variable can be continuous or categorical. Am I audible to all, Dr. Sudhanshu?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clearly audible, sir.
Okay. So I'm quickly recapping.
Please, sir. Sir, your voice is not audible, sir. Yes, sir. It is audible now.
Audible
I think
now?
some network issues are there.
Audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if the dependent variable is categorical or ordinal in nature, and independent variables are either categorical or continuous, then we can go for logistic regression. Then in the logistic regression, the assumptions are, the error term of the sample group outcomes are separated from each other or independence of error, almost similar to the multiple linear regression. But here we say that the no duplicacy of response. What does it mean? If there is a duplicacy of response, that means either from the respondent side or by default or by any error, your independent variable or your question or items in the question reflect the similar meaning, then there will be a duplication of response. And in that case, the error term is not independent. And the second assumption is linearity, because in the logistic regression, the probability of occurrence or the probability of happening of an event is linearly related to the independent variables, is linearly related.
Sir, again there is a problem, sir. The voice is breaking, sir. Sir, voice is breaking, sir. It just 10 seconds. 10 seconds, sir.
Audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Okay, it is just half minute or 1 minute?
Sir, half a minute, sir.
Okay. So the second assumption, there is a linearity. There must be a linearity between the relationship of dependent and independent. Why again linearity, you will say?
Sir, your voice is not audible again, sir.
You are taking.
Sir, it is not audible,
the
sir.
log transformation of the dependent variable. So the log transformation of dependent variable
Hello, everyone. I think there is a heavy technical issues with sir's end, so that sir's voice is breaking repeatedly, and it's already 1, I think. Without wasting our time, I would request you to coming to the end of the session, today's session, because I think there must be some technical issues with sir's end. So I would like to request to have patient all the participants. I'm just trying for the last time to connect, sir. Let's wait, please.
Dr. Sudhanshu, can we have a recorded version of his lecture so that he can just record and send, and probably you can put it across in your recording and send it across to us?
Yeah, we don't have, but we do not have the recording version. However,
Yeah.
we can arrange.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Now it is
Yes, sir.
audible
Now
to all?
audible.
Okay. So I think I should not waste the time of this theory again. So the equation that I was saying, the probability of occurrence of a particular event the independent variables x1, x2, xn.
Hello, Sudhanshu. I think it's raining actually everywhere in Odisha. Maybe the problem is for that, the bad weather condition. So better we should conclude, and we'll take few questions, or we can share Sarosh sir's number and contact details to everyone.
I will go to the analysis part and exhibit through the SPSS.
So directly we will
Am I
go
in the
for a
right
few
track,
questions.
Sir, actually, there's I think serious weather problem is there. So technical issues are there. Your voice is cracking repeatedly. So we'll just do one thing. We'll directly go to the question answer session, sir. Yeah, Dr. Baroda, sir.
Yes. We can go for the question as says, sir, because
No,
you know,
actually, again that will be a problem because
I think
sir
that
is
will be better.
sir voice.
One asking.
Yes, sir. Any questions from our participants, please?
Hello.
Hello.
Sudhanshu sir.
Yes, sir, please.
Sudhanshu sir.
Yes, sir.
Please tell Professor Saroj Kumar Sahu mute his video, and he shall continue with his audio and PPTs. There will be no problem. Okay.
Okay. Now I think there must be some technical issues because of the weather. I think now it's heavily raining in Odisha,
that is
so
true.
everywhere.
So because of that, dear participants, I would like to say sorry because of these technical issues, and you must have known perfectly. So I would request you to put your questions in the question answer box so that I can collect it and forward it to sir. And again, we have a session on sir, and I think 8th session. So in that session, we'll discuss these questions. I'm just requesting you can write the questions in the chat box, or else you can send the questions through our WhatsApp group. Again, we have one session on another topic of Dr. Saroj Kumar Sahu in the 8th session, I think. So in that session, we'll discuss all the questions.
Yes. We'll do that. No problem. So, Sudhanshu, what I suggest that we will conclude with a few questions, and we can keep few questions for the next session because we have another session for Sarosh sir.
Yeah.
So more 10 to 15 minutes we will continue for this session's questions, sir. We will share all the PPTs and whatever Sarosh sir will share.
Definitely, we will share all the recordings, all the PPTs of the today's presentation, today's session to the participants.
Quickly we will solve all the questions for within 10 to 15 minutes on the next session of sir.
Sure. Thank you all the participants for your patient learning. And because of the technical issues, on behalf of our family, I would like to say sorry because of these technical issues. So nothing is in our hand. So thank you so much for your patient learning. And thank you, Dr. Shahu, for your deliberation. I know because of the technical issues, you have feel, but no issue, sir. Definitely. Thank you a lot. Thank you all.